Hello everyone! In today's video, we are talking about our first signer of the Mecklenburg Declaration of Independence, whose last name is not Alexander. Today's video is dedicated to a man named Waightstill Avery. There's not much to show you in Charlotte about the legacy of Waightstill Avery, so in today's video, we are just going to enjoy and explore the Alexandriana Historic Site, which, as you know, was the home site of John McNitt Alexander, the place where the Mecklenburg Declaration was drafted and signed, and unfortunately the place that burned down, destroying John's family home and the important document along with it. Waightstill Avery was born May 10, 1741, in a family of English immigrants who had originally come to America in the 1630s. Waightstill graduated from Princeton University, which was then a Presbyterian school called the College of New Jersey, in 1766 with first honors in his class. He taught at the college for a year before studying law. He moved to North Carolina in 1769, where he was admitted to practice law. He quickly became a successful attorney in the Piedmont region, which is most of the middle of the state of North Carolina. Waightstill lived in Salisbury for a year before moving to Charlotte, where he initially boarded a room in the house of Hezekiah Alexander. He became the first Attorney General of North Carolina, representing Burke County in the House of Commons for 5 years and in the Senate for 1. During this time of living at the Alexander home, he reunited with Ephraim Brevard and other friends from his years at Princeton. Along with fellow Princeton graduate Hezekiah Balch, he attempted unsuccessfully to win a royal charter for what would have been North Carolina's first college in 1771. Disallowed by King George III, Queen's College in Charlotte was founded anyway, although unincorporated, by the colonial legislature, and it continued to serve for several years as a preparatory school with a library that had been donated by Avery. In 1772, Waightstill was elected a member of the Provincial Assembly and appointed Attorney General for the Crown of England. However, he was among the earliest instigators in Mecklenburg, clamoring for the colony's independence from Great Britain. In 1775, Waightstill was among the 27 men who convened on May 19th and 20th to draft and sign the Mecklenburg Declaration of Independence. 11 days later, he was also a member of the committee that passed the more famous Mecklenburg Resolves and was one of the first to sign that document. In August, he became a delegate to the Provincial Congress held in Hillsborough, North Carolina, which placed the state under a military organization in preparation for the possibility of war. In September, he was appointed one of the 13 members of the Provincial Council, which had been given great powers by the Provincial Congress. On May 10, 1776, he resigned his commission as Attorney General for the Crown of England and became a member of the Congress that met in Halifax in November of that year. He served on the committee that drew up the first North Carolina Constitution, and an examination of the records later determined that there was more of Avery's handwriting in this document than of any other member on the committee. With the formation of the North Carolina state government completed, Waightstill Avery was elected to the First General Assembly, which met in New Bern, North Carolina in 1777, and he was named the first Attorney General of North Carolina. He was made one of the Governor's Council in October of 1779, and he served during the Revolutionary War as colonel over the Jones County Regiment of the North Carolina Militia from 1779 to 1780, and as captain in the Burke County Regiment of the North Carolina Militia in 1781. In 1780, while the British were occupying Charlotte, Cornwallis ordered Avery's office and all of his books and papers to be destroyed. Only those possessions that were stored at Hezekiah Alexander's house survived. Destruction of property was Cornwallis's way of signifying who he considered to be the leading offenders in the rebellion. However, after the Battle of Charlotte was fought in September of 1780, it became apparent that independence from England was inevitable. During the war, Waightstill had married a woman named Leah Franks in October of 1778. She had a large farm in Jones County, North Carolina, where they settled. He became colonel of the Jones County Militia, where he served for more than 2 years. He also purchased land in Burke County, where the family eventually moved in 1781. He and his wife had 3 daughters and 1 son together. Here's an interesting little fact about Waightstill Avery that happened in 1788. He accepted a challenge to a duel from the future President Andrew Jackson, who was then just a young lawyer in Jonesboro after a courtroom incident. In a criminal case before the court, Avery had been severe in his comments on some of the legal positions taken by young Jackson. Avery referred to Bacon, the noted English jurist, and used Bacon's reports to bolster his opinions. Jackson, in playing a prank on Avery, replied with a challenge to a duel, which Avery accepted. That evening, they met on the field. Jackson fired first and missed, most likely intentionally, and Avery fired into the air before walking up to Jackson and giving him a lecture. They left the duel as very good friends. Avery was elected by Burke County to the House of Commons in 1782, 1783, 1784, 1785, and 1793, and then to the Senate in 1796. He was an old-school gentleman until his death, wearing knee breeches, powdered wigs, and the full dress of the late 1700s. He was described as a man of great dignity and demeanor, but was remarkably courteous in his language and manner, even more so towards young people. In 1801, Avery was rendered helpless in his lower limbs by paralysis, but he continued to practice his law from Raleigh, North Carolina to Jonesboro, Tennessee, until just a few years before his death on March 15th of 1821. He died in Morganton, North Carolina, and was buried in a family graveyard. One of these days when I'm up that way, I will definitely stop in at his gravesite if I can find it and pay my respects.